This is Michaela Patterson, and this is my tutorial of transitive, intransitive, and ditransitive verbs. So a transitive verb, the two most important characteristics are that it's an action verb. You can actually go out and do this. It's something tangible that can be completed, and it has to have a direct object. It has to have something that's receiving that action. And so in this picture, for example, this kid is kicking the ball. The ball is that direct object. It's what's receiving the action, and the action is him kicking it. So it's something that he can actually go out and do. So we have two examples here for our transitive verb practice. So we're just going to label the actual transitive verb and then the direct object that's receiving this action. So in the first example, the burglar stole my necklace. Stole would be the transitive verb, and then my necklace would be what is being stolen. It's the thing that's receiving the action. And in our second example, it's like the one we already did before. Johnny kicked the soccer ball. Kicked is going to be our transitive verb, and then the soccer ball is going to be the direct object. With intransitive verbs, it's very similar to transitive. There's only a slight difference. It's also an action verb. It's something that you can go out and do, a doable action. But what it does not have is a direct object. It has nothing that is receiving this action. It doesn't have an object that's receiving this action. So for our practice, we have the baby laughed. Our intransitive verb is going to be just laughed, because obviously you can't do this action on something else. You can't say the baby laughed soccer ball. That doesn't make any sense. And our second one, it's slightly harder. It's a command, so you would think that it would have a direct object, but in actuality it doesn't. So sit down would be the sentence, and then sit is the intransitive verb. Now, ditransitive verb also is an action verb. It also has things that you go out and actually tangibly can do, but it also, as well as a direct object, has an indirect object. In our example, Shelley gave Dan the pencil. Shelley gave, that is our verb. So gave would be our ditransitive verb, and then the pencil is what's being given. So the pencil is our direct object. But who is she giving the pencil to? She's giving it to Dan. So Dan is going to be our indirect object. He's going to be the one that's receiving this pencil. In our second example, the police caught themselves a criminal. Caught is going to be our ditransitive verb. And then what did they catch? They caught a criminal. So our criminal is going to be the direct object. And then the indirect object is going to be themselves. Who did they catch the criminal for? Themselves. So themselves is the indirect object. In our last example, please pass me the rice. Pass is going to be our verb, so it's going to be our ditransitive verb. And then the rice is what's being passed, so the rice is going to be our direct object. But who are you passing it to? You're passing it to me. So me is going to be our indirect object. So basically the difference between this ditransitive, intransitive, and transitive verbs is that they are all verbs that can be acted out, but it's basically what else is in the sentence with the verb. Is there a direct object, an indirect object, or nothing at all? So those are the differences between these three types of verbs.